Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is T of the FTK Crochet brand and I'm back with another tutorial. Today we are going to be making the tutorial for this beautiful skirt. It is a step-by-step detailed tutorial, so it is beginner friendly. I posted a two-piece a while back and you guys have been asking for the tutorial, so we are going to be starting with the skirts and the next tutorial is going to be the top. All right, so without further ado, let us get into today's tutorial. Okay, so for this project, these are the materials that you are going to need. You are going to need your yarn, of course. So for this yarn, I'm going to be using a 4-ply acrylic yarn. All right, so the yarn happens to be 2-ply acrylic yarn. So I'm going to be putting two strands together to create my own 4-ply acrylic yarn. Okay, but you can go ahead to use whatever yarn you feel comfortable working with. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to be working with this very deep brown color and this mustard yellow color. All right, so you are going to need your scissors. You are going to need a tapestry needle, a measurement tape, very important. You are going to need some stitch markers, and on this one I'm going to be working with a 4.5 millimeter hook size. All right, so let us get into it. Okay, so the measurement you are going to need for this one is going to be your hips measurement and the length that you want your skirt to be on. All right, so the reason why I said your hips measurement is so when you are wearing these skirts, you can wear it past your hips. You can always work on the waist by putting in an elastic band or decide to use a string like a chain to hold the waist. But you see that hips, the skirt has to go through your hips. That is why when we start the chains, we always have to do it with the hip size. Okay, a lot of you've been asking this question, but that is just the reason why we do that. All right, so for this one I'm going to be doing the hips I'm working on is 44 inches. All right, so I'm going to go off camera now to do a chain that is long enough to be 44 inches. All right, so you go ahead to make your own chains and I will be right back to tell you what we are going to be doing next. All right. Okay, so I'm done with my foundation chain and I ended up making 140 chains for this size that I'm going for. All right, 140 chains. And I forgot to mention when you are making your chains, make sure you are stretching it out. Okay, so like I will advise you can actually put it around your hips so you know that when you are done with your chains, the chain can actually go through your hips. The skirt can actually go through your hips. All right, so now what we are going to be doing, we are going to be doing a slip stitch on the very first stitch that we started with here, the very first chain stitch. So as you can see, I've already traced it back and I got my first stitch already. So when you are doing yours, make sure to be careful because we don't want the chain to be rolling around just like this on our skirts. Okay, so what you do on the very first stitch here where you started from, you are going to be doing a slip stitch on that very stitch to end this foundation chain, just like this. Okay, so now you are going to chain up one. You are going to chain up two, sorry. You're going to chain up two. All right, so on this very first stitch now, you are going to be going in there with 1/2 double crochet, just like this. So this happens to be our first stitch. You are going to put a stitch marker there just to mark the stitch so you know where your first stitch is. I always like to do that so I don't make a mistake. All right, so on the next stitch now, you're going to be going in there with 1/2 double crochet. And on the next stitch, you're going to be going in there with 1/2 double crochet. So for this row one, that is exactly what you are going to be doing. All right, on each of the stitches you're going to be putting in 1/2 double crochet all around until you get to the very end here again. And when I get here, I'll come back to tell you what we're going to be doing next. All right, okay, so I'm at the end of the round one now. So to end on this row, you're going to be doing a slip stitch on this very first stitch that we started with right here to end this row, just like this. All right, and like I said, make sure you are counting your stitch. So I started with 140 chains, so I ended up with 140 half double crochets on this row. All right, so for the round 2 now, you are going to chain up 1 and then turn your work to the other side, just like this. So on the very next stitch now, you are going to be going in there with just 1 single crochet. So for this row, we are going to be doing single crochet all around, and make sure you mark your very first stitch so you do not make a mistake. All right. So on the next stitch, you're going to be going in there with 1 single crochet, and on the next, you're going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. So this is what you're going to be doing all around this row, and I'll meet you at the end here where we begin. All right. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 2, and this is how it's looking. So to end on this row 2, you are going to be doing a slip stitch on the stitch that we started with right here, where our stitch marker is. You're just going to do a slip stitch here to end the row. All right, so now to start on the next row, you are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then turn your work to the other side just like this. So we are going to be working the Alpine stitch on these skirts. All right, so now this chain 3 is going to be serving as our first double crochet. So on the next stitch now, you are going to yarn over. So on that very next stitch, you are going to be going in there with a front post double crochet. All right, so on the previous half double crochet, that is where you are going to be doing the front post double crochet, just like this. All right, so on the next stitch, you are going to be doing a regular double crochet on the stitch here, on the previous single crochet row, just like that. Okay, so on the next stitch, you are going to be going in there with a front post double crochet on the previous half double crochet that you did. So if you are used to the Alpine stitch, you will understand what I'm doing. But if you are not, just watch what I'm doing closely. All right. So on the next stitch, you are going to be going in there with a regular double crochet on the previous single crochet row you did, just like that. And on the next stitch, you are going to go down below on the previous half double crochet. You are going to be doing a front post double crochet with that stitch, just like this. All right, so a regular double crochet on the previous single crochet and the front posts on the previous half double crochet. So this is what you are going to continue for this row all around, and I will meet you right here where we begin from to show you how you end it and how we are going to be starting the next row. All right. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 3, and this is how we are looking so far. So to end on this row 3, you are going to be doing a slip stitch on the chain 3 stitch that we started with right here, just like this. All right, so now to begin the next row, you are going to chain up 1, turn your work to the other side. So on this stitch now, this very next stitch here, you're going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. And on the next stitch, you're going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. So for this round, you are going to be doing 1 single crochet on each of the stitches all around. All right, and like I told you, make sure you are counting your stitches. Don't forget, we started with 140 for my own measurements now. So I will have to have exactly 140 stitches by the time I get to the end here. All right, so you keep doing 1 single crochet on each of the stitch, and I'll meet you at the end here. Okay. Okay, so I'm at the end of the single crochet row. So to end on this row, you're just going to do a slip stitch on the very last stitch right here, the first stitch where we started from. All right, so to begin the next row, you are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, then turn your work to the front side now. All right, so as you can see, this chain 3 is going to be serving as 1 double crochet for us. Okay, so the next stitch now, this one right here, this inner stitch, you are going to be going in there with a front post double crochet, just like this. And on the next stitch that happens to be the previous front post, you are going to be doing a regular double crochet on the single crochet row we just did. And the next stitch now happens to be the regular one from the previous row. You're just going to do a front post double crochet with that stitch. And the next stitch, you're just going to be going in here with a regular double crochet on the previous front post. Okay, and then a front post from the regular double crochet from the previous row. So this is what you are going to be doing on this row: a regular double crochet on the previous front post, and a front post from the previous regular double crochet. All right, I do hope you understand what I'm saying. So keep doing this on this round until you get to the end here. When I get here, I'll come back to show you how we are going to end it and how we begin the next row. All right. Okay, so I'm at the end of this row now, and this is how it's looking. So beautiful. All right, so to end on this row, you're just going to do a slip stitch on the chain 3 stitch that you started with right here. Just like this. All right, so now to begin the next row, you are going to chain up 1, then turn your work to the other side. So on the very next stitch here now, you're going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. And on the next, you're going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. On the next stitch, 1 single crochet. So for this row, you are just going to be doing 1 single crochet all around. All right, 1 single crochet on each stitch all around until you get to the end here again. And then you are going to chain up 3 and start doing your regular double crochet and front post double crochet, just exactly what we did on this row. Okay, so it is just a repetition of row 2, row 3 and row 4. Okay, so just keep repeating those ones until you get to the length of the skirt that you want. Okay, so I'm going off camera now to actually work my length, and I will be right back to tell you how we are going to be doing the band for the skirts. Okay. Okay, so I now have the length of the skirts that I'm going for, and this is how it's looking. I ended up making exactly 13 inches. 13 inches. So I think I'm good with this length. But this is the part you try it on to see if you are okay with where your own length is. All right. So the next step now, we are going to be working the band. So what I did is, we didn't do any increase or decrease on the entire skirt. So this is supposed to be where we started from. So this is supposed to be the waist. But I'm not using this as the waist. I'm using this as the bottom. So all I did is just turn it to the parts where I've been working with. All right. So this is where I'm going to be picking as my waistband, but it's up to you. Like I said, we didn't do any increase or decrease, so it's all straight now until you start working on the band. So you pick where you want to be your waist, either the top part or the bottom part, before you work on the band area. Okay, so to begin the band now, I'm going to be coming back with my brown color because I want the brown color to be here again. But if you are using one color on your own, you do not have to go through all this. All right, so I'm going to be cutting off this yellow yarn color now, so I can reattach the brown one. All right, so with the brown color, we are going to be doing single crochet all around. Okay, so to begin the very first single crochet, you are going to be reattaching your yarn on these parts where we just cut off our yellow yarn, but we are not going to be working on the front. You are going to turn your work to the other side now. All right, and then reattach your yarn here where we cut off the yellow yarn, and then you are going to chain up 1. All right, so now on the next stitch, you are going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. And then make sure you mark your very first stitch so you do not mistake the stitch. All right, then on the next stitch, you're going to be going in there with 1 single crochet, and on the next, you're going to be going in there with 1 single crochet. So for this round, you're just going to be doing 1 single crochet all around, and I will meet you back here. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 1 now, which is a single crochet row. All right. So to begin the next row, which is your row two, you're going to chain up three, two, and three, and then you're going to turn your work to the other side, which is the front side now. All right. So we are still going to continue doing the normal stitch as we've been working the Alpine stitch, but this time around we are going to be doing decreases to create the band of the skirts. Okay. So now this chain three is going to be serving as one double crochet for us. All right. So you are going to be going into this next stitch now with a front post double crochet, and on the next stitch you're going to be going in there with the normal double crochet, the regular double crochet on the previous single crochet row you just did, and then on the next you're going to be going in there with a front post, just exactly how we've been doing it. So the decreases is going to be happening after 5 stitch. So on the 6th stitch, that is where we are going to be doing the decrease with the 7th stitch. All right, so just watch what I'm doing. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So on the 6th stitch now we are going to be doing a decrease. So this is how we do the decrease. You are going to go into this regular stitch now. You do a double crochet, but you won't finish it. All right. Now that you have 2 on your hook, you're going to yarn over, and then you know the next one is supposed to be the front post. Then you're going to be taking this stitch for the front post, pull out a loop just like this. Now that you have 4 on your hook, yarn over, pull out 2 loops. Now that you have 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull out all 3 loops. All right, so you count another 5 stitches again. So this happens to be the regular double crochet. The next stitch is going to be the front post, that's 2. The next is a regular, 3. The next is the front post, 4, and the next is a regular, that's 5. So we are going to be doing another decrease right here again. All right, so watch this decrease once more before I go off camera. All right, you're going to take the front posts now just like this. You do a double crochet, but you won't finish it. You're going to pull out a loop. Now that you have 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull out 2 loops. Now that you have 2 on your hook, you're going to yarn over again and go into the next stitch that happens to be the regular double crochet right here. Pull out a loop. Now that you have 4 on your hook, yarn over, pull out 2 loops. Now that you have 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull out all 3 loops. All right, so this is what you're going to be doing for the row 2. All right, so keep counting again, count your normal 5 stitch, and when you get to the 6th and the 7th stitch, that is where you do your decrease. So I'm going offline now to do mine. When I get to the end here, I'll come back to tell you what we're going to be doing next. All right, okay, so I'm at the end of the row 2 now. All right, so now to begin the row 3, the next single crochet row, you are going to chain up 1 and turn your work to the other side. That I already did. So this row is going to be a decrease row as well. All right, so now that you've chained up 1, on the next stitch now you're just going to be going in there with 1 single crochet, and make sure you mark your last stitch here so you don't make a mistake. All right, so this count is still going to be exactly the same thing. You are going to count 5 single crochet and decrease on the 6th and the 7th stitch. All right, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you're going to be doing your decrease with the 6th and the 7th stitch. All right, so to decrease with the single crochet, you're going to go into the 6th stitch now, pull out a loop. Now that you have 2 on your hook, you're going to go into the 7th stitch just like this, pull out a loop. Now that you have 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull out all 3 loops. All right, and then go ahead again to count 5 stitches, and on the 6th and 7th stitch do exactly the same thing. All right, so that is what you are going to be doing all around on this row until you get to the end here again. When I get here, I'll come back to show you how we are going to be starting the next row. All right, okay, so I'm at the end of the row. So to end this row now, you're going to be doing a single crochet on the very first stitch we begin with right here, just like this. All right, so now to begin the next row, you're going to chain up one and turn your work to the other side. So we are not doing any more decreases. Okay, this row now is going to be the very last row. Okay, so this row is going to be a single crochet row. So this is where you would decide if you want to use an elastic on your own, or just go ahead to put in your normal single crochet and then use a chain to tie it up to snatch the waist. But me, I'm going to be going with an elastic, and this is the elastic I'm going with. All right, this elastic is a little bigger. I would have preferred this one, but I don't have the color that will suit this brown color. I'm going with this dark color because I have a dark color yarn. Okay, so whenever you want to put elastic on your crochet project, make sure you find elastic that's actually match your yarn color. Okay, like I said, I would have preferred to use this smaller elastic band, but the color won't match and I don't want it to be showing when I'm wearing it. Okay, so I'm going to be going with this one. So to put an elastic on your skirt, I have a video for it. Don't worry, I'm going to be putting the link down below, so you go watch it and do yours if you don't know how to put an elastic on your crochet project. Okay, so I'm going to be going off camera now to do mine, and I'll come back to show you how it's looking and what we're going to be doing next. Okay. Okay, so I'm done fixing the elastic band on my skirt, and this is how it's looking now. You see how snatched it looks now. You won't really see the beauty on the table, but it is so beautiful. All right, so the next step now is going to be working on the bottom of the skirts. All right, so we are going to begin with a single crochet all across now. So I'm going to be bringing back my brown yarn because I want the design to be brown, yellow, and then brown to finish it up. Okay, so let us get into that. Okay, so to begin the single crochet, you can reattach your yarn anywhere here. But me, I just like working my own in one place. So this is where I cut off the first yarn. So this is where I'm going to be reattaching my brown colored yarn. All right, so you're going to reattach your yarn anywhere here, and then chain up one. All right, so on that same stitch, you're going to be going in there with one single crochet, and make sure you mark your stitch so you do not make a mistake. Mark the very first stitch right here. All right, so on the next stitch, you're going to be going in there with one single crochet, and on the next you're going to be going in there with one single crochet. So all around this first row, you're just going to be putting in one single crochet, just like this, and I will meet you here when I'm done with mine. All right, okay, so I'm at the end of the row one now. So to end on this row, you're just going to remove the stitch marker from the very first stitch here, and you're going to be doing a slip stitch inside that stitch to end this row one, just like this. All right, so now to begin the row two, you're just going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. So it's going to be exactly what we've been working on the body of the skirt. Same alpine stitch. I just want the brown color to come down here again. But if you are using just one color, you don't have to do these parts. You already have the length that you are going for. I just want the design that is on top here, the middle here, just to be at the bottom here. So what I'm going to be doing now, I'm just going to be doing 2 rows of the alpine stitch now, and then 1 row of single crochet, and that is where I will wrap it up. All right, so I'm going to go off camera now to actually do that because you already have an idea what I'm talking about. Okay, and I'll be right back to show you the finished results. All right, okay, so I'm done making the bottom of the skirt, and this is how it's looking. So you can see the contrast with this one in the middle and the one on top now. It's so beautiful. All right, so I've taken out the time also to weave in all of my ends, and it's looking all neat and beautiful. So this is the final results. So cute. All right, so with this, we've come to the end of today's tutorial. I do hope you enjoy watching this video as much as I did making the video. If you do, make sure to like the video and share it to your friends and your family who wants to make something as beautiful as this. And if you've not subscribed to my channel before now, please do so now. You don't want to be missing out on all these beautiful tutorials that I post on here. All right, so if you have any questions about this project, feel free to drop it on the comment section and I will be happy to help. All right, so until next time, bye bye.